Hi Stampers, it's Judy Anderson with JudyStamps.com bringing you another technique. This week's technique is called color booking. How many of you just love coloring in color books when you were a young child? I know I did. I would spend hours up in the afternoon. My mom knew all she had to do was give me a coloring book, some crayons, and I was a happy camper. So let's get started. To begin with, you're going to need an outline stamp to stamp your image. And for this, I'm using the Vivid Vases. You'll need to stamp that image with a waterproof ink. I'm using our Jet Black Stays-On ink. This is a waterproof. This just helps your images from smearing and blending in with your markers when you color. And then your choice of Stampin' Right markers. I also am going to show you a little bit on how to shade with the blender pen. With this, when we were kids and we used crayons, you could color dark or press harder to get the darks and the lights. With the markers, it's a little bit harder, so that's why I'm going to show you a little bit of a trick with the blender pen today. So let's get started. I'll ink up my stamp with my Stays-On. And don't forget, when you use your Stays-On ink, you do want to make sure you clean your stamp right away with the Stays-On cleaner. And you want to close your pad up right away because this type of ink dries by evaporation. Okay, I'm going to clean my stamp off. We got a good image there. I love that. And you'll notice that in my Stays-On ink pad, I have the plastic that actually comes on the pad when that's inside the lid when you get the pad. I've just taken a Stampin' Dimensional and attach it to the inside of the lid so I don't forget to put this plastic lid on also and I don't lose it. I'm known for losing things. And this way it's a tighter fit when you close your pad and it's sure not to dry out. Okay, let's get coloring. I'm going to start out with my Daffodil Delight marker, and I'm going to color this second vase here with my Daffodil Delight. And this is basic coloring. It's super easy. Now, if you'd like a little bit of shading, remember there's going to be a light and a dark side. We're going to do the darker side on the left side. And I'm just going to take my Crush Curry marker and go along that edge a little bit, just to give it a little bit of depth. Zoom. Sorry about that, my daughter was walking through. Okay, next we're going to take our Pool Party marker, and I am going to color this one over here. And just color just like you were using crayons. And we want a little bit darker, so I'm just going to go over it with the Pool Party, because the more you go over it, the darker it will get, the more layers of ink that you have on there. For this one here, I actually want to do kind of a stripe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of the ink on my stamp case. You really can't see a whole lot there because it's lighter, but when I use the Rich Raspberry, you'll see it. And I'm just going to take and draw some stripes on here. Begin with, and these are going to be our darker stripes. Okay. Now I'm going to pick up the blender pen, and I'm going to pick up some of this ink that I've rubbed on here, and I'm just going to color in between the stripes that I have. And that's going to cause a dark and a light. So I'm creating that illusion of stripes. Now if you wanted your stripes a little bit darker, you could go back over them, which I do want a little bit darker. There we go. Now they're starting to pop. There we go. Okay, now with the Rich Raspberry, I'm actually going to color some of that. Now see how you can see that ink being transferred onto that case? You don't need to use a stamp case. You could use anything that is non-porous. A CD case, your countertop if you wanted. I'm known to do that, coloring on my countertop with my markers. Okay, now I'm going to pick up some color here. And I'm going to color this vase here. blending out the color. A little bit darker. Now you don't want to rub too hard on this with your blender pen because the paper will start piling up. And then what I'm going to do on this last one over here is I'm going to actually color directly on it. And see how much darker it is? It is a pretty dark color. Now once again, I want to make this left side darker, so I'm going to go over it. And now that this is dried a little bit, I'm going to go over the left side with my blender pen, shading that. So that side's a little bit darker. And then what I want to do is I want to do something a little bit different and do some maybe polka dots on here. And just dab the brush tip to form some polka dots. Isn't that neat? Okay, I'm going to take my blender pen again and I'm going to color some of these flowers. Just swirling around a little bit. I'll make this one Rich Razzleberry 2. I'm just basically using these three colors to color in. And see why I could sit for hours and hours coloring with my crayons, because I just keep on a-going. And these flowers are all going to be yellow. We want the center is going to be a little bit darker. And this is really quick. Some people say, oh, I don't like to color, it takes too long. But really it doesn't. I want to make that a little bit darker in there. The center here a little bit darker just so that the other stands out. And I missed a little flower bud here. Okay, and I don't have a green, but that's okay. I'm going to use my Pool Party for the stems. Mix that with a little bit of yellow. And guess what? Voila, we have a green tone without having a green. So that's the today's technique, color booking. So put that into your technique book and can't wait until next time. See you later. Have a good day and happy stamping.